a family's coming in, Olivia and her kids, and then we might just grab like Jay and Matt or somebody, you know, stage them over here, just hanging out. Muscadine Bloodline, Gary and Charlie. So I met them on a turkey hunt in Wyoming. Gary is a diehard turkey hunter like I am, and so we ended up taking them to a place that we go to every year in Wyoming and getting Charlie his first turkey. He'd never killed a turkey before. And so it was just one of those experiences. We made a film for NWTF, turkey call episode out of it. And it's one of those things where, man, when you get in the woods and you hunt turkeys together, it creates a bond that's just different. It's hard to describe. But after that, Gary and I continued to communicate about turkeys and turkey hunting. And then he came to Lebanon last year, wanted to get a Missouri turkey out of the way. So we came, and me and him both killed birds that day. And it was just a really great time. And while we were turkey hunting, he's like, man, I got these 2 songs that we wrote, and we want to do something cool, something different for a music video, like a film. And so he kind of threw that idea at me, and then I listened to the songs about 3 or 4 months straight, I feel like, working through different concepts until we found one we were comfortable with. I just kept listening to the songs and trying to envision sort of this epic drama of these white trash families. And originally it was going to be way grittier with this sort of, these 2 families who maybe are, you know, cooking meth or in more of a gritty scenario. But then as we casted and things evolved, the people we casted really fit into their roles well. And I think it comes across a little more realistic with the folks that we casted. It's really cool to see how literally casting and choosing characters can actually shape your story. And that's something you can't really plan when you're writing it, you know.
The first scene we shot out of this whole thing was the restaurant scene, and that was in Cornerstone here in Lebanon. They were gracious enough to let us shoot in there before they opened. So we were able to sneak in there and get some shots done before. And that being the first scene of the whole thing, I remember it being kind of like, all right, hopefully we can get everything lined out good here, you know. I was getting used to the whole camera operator thing. Nate was directing me, and I was getting used to that. And we were all just kind of trying to get on the right path for the rest of the shoot.
Once we really got that first scene under our belt, it was like, all right, let's go. Let's get this thing done. Action. Fast cut off. Action.
I can't believe you shot me like that.
I missed my focus. Yeah, let's do that one more time. Okay, I like that. Let's go with that one. Okay. All right, rolling. Rolling. Action.
There we go.
That was good. I like that. The light was perfect, the morning light, and I'd never seen the light like that in Cornerstone, and it's because they're not open at 8 in the morning. And so when we walked in and the light was coming through the colored windows, it was like, man, yeah, we picked the right time to shoot in here. From the sub shop, the next group of scenes that we shot was anything regarding the driving scenes in the Pruitts truck, which is my old farm truck, this '94 Chevy that we rolled up on a tandem trailer. Matt drove around some paved back roads, and we filmed all the scenes with Connor hanging from the side of the truck with a tree stand saddle because, you know, he's a redneck. So.
Are you sure? I'm like, I think 20-foot trees in this thing, so.
I love it. Yeah. And Charlie's going to sing through the first 2 minutes of the song.
Love it.
So.
While we're moving, or are we
while we're
stationary?
moving, yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. That's
Yeah, just makes it easier than having to try to
green screen, all that, and whatever.
Like
set in the
back
truck
when you
bed.
drive.
Yeah,
You know, yeah.
I agree. You've done that before.
Yeah. Well, you get a completely different angle too when you're like shooting from outside instead of
Yeah,
in
it's
the
like
truck.
it's probably safer than using multiple vehicles going down the same road doing all that.
Oh, yeah.
That's not doing that.
And Charlie is basically the fly on the wall to
Yeah.
their
Well,
story.
later on we find out that he's in the family.
Yeah, no, am I in the
Ah.
family?
You are.
Okay, that's
but we don't find that out until later.
By the way.
Sweet.
Out there. My grandpa did something.
All right, so same thing, just a few seconds of.
So the truck rig, we needed to film from outside of the truck, and we weren't going to use a chase car. We weren't going to do anything like that. We don't have any rigs big enough to throw the red and the whole cinema rig on. So we were sitting here one day, and I said, you know what? I have an idea, and this might be the, I don't know, country boy redneck side of me, whatever. But I thought, man, I can use my tree saddle that I use to deer hunt with, and I can latch it on just like a tree. I can latch it onto the truck, and I can just hang off the edge of the truck with the camera. We shot this in January, so it was cold outside. And, you know, I put on my warm clothes and rigged up the tree saddle and looped it around the door frame of the truck and shut the door, and I hung off the side of the trailer, and I just trusted Matt not to hit me with any branches as we drove down the road.
You know, we're shooting these truck scenes later in the morning, so the sun is up in the sky, and we started noticing there's a real harsh light that's hitting our subject. So we decided just to throw a 4x8 diffuser on top of the window and throw the sandbags on to hold it. And that's the nice thing about having somebody drive a truck that's pulling this vehicle, so our actors don't have to actually drive. Obviously wouldn't be able to see through a diffuser. So it allows us to set the scene and light it however we want, and have the appearance of them driving, you know. But we're in charge of modifying the light in whatever way we want to.
And calling them up and calling them out. No, you don't dare the dog and break the chain unless you done lost your mind.
After that, we went out to an old farmhouse that we had got permission to shoot at, and we did a lot of filming there. There's probably about a minute or two in the film that takes place there. We had a lot of stuff to get done and a little bit of time. And went good. Once Nate and I would get in our groove, things would go smooth, and it really started to work really well about halfway through day one, and then the rest of the days were really smooth.
Okay. So I want to shoot it into here, and then we'll haze this. We might have to even move some stuff around, but I want to get that glow on him.
How are you gonna frame it? What are you gonna?
Or maybe we should just use this chair and have him here instead of on this couch. You know what I'm saying? With the alpacas on the back.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have more of a light beam that way.
You're gonna shoot with this window in the frame?
We could hang something over it. We could hang a bed sheet over it. That would.
It's one shot here and one shot over the shoulder, right?
Yeah, but we can move a chair out to the middle right here. So he's getting hit with a side beam, right?
Yeah,
Chris is just like, move whatever you want to move, so.
Would you try to just frame this window out, or you want to cover it?
I think we just hang a bed
you
sheet
can do the
over
chair,
it.
or you could pull that around here, and you could sit on the edge of the couch instead of just the
Randomly in the middle of
trout chair.
Yes, I had it.
Yeah.
We'll have to pull it out. Pull that.
Right. We went out to our buddy Chris Cottongin's place, and he has this farmhouse. It's like 100 years old. It was a perfect backdrop for this, for a couple different scenes. For the moment where Sarah's dad, Jack, finds out that she's been with, you know, this boy. He finds the Letterman jacket, and so we shot that scene there. To take it farther that way a little bit.
Okay.
Right. So those all look kind of spread out. Yeah, maybe it's underneath a couple of things, right? So
Yeah. Okay. Do you want it? Do you need it more dim?
well. Cut. Let's go cut into the tighter shots. That's a great one.
Nice.
It's really not too bad. Not a lot rolls out.
So I'm thinking, Connor, we kind of like. Oh, sorry.
Should I
I'm
put this
thinking you're
out?
kind of over here,
Okay.
and what we're gonna be for these first ones is his face as he's looking down, right? So tight on his face.
You like
Yep.
that tightness?
Yep. Go for it, Connor. What's that? I think you're angling just a little bit.
Me?
Yeah. There we go. Sweet. So do a fast pan from his face down to something that he's looking at.
You want the
Actually, grab that newspaper article. Yeah, let's do that.
And how does he feel about this newspaper article? Like,
Yeah.
what does this conjure up emotion-wise?
It's heavy. All right. Let's do that one more time. Yeah,
That was
nice.
sweet. Yeah.
Do that
Sick
one time
smoke
where
hitting
you
the
kind
camera.
of take a
Okay.
step to me at the same time.
You know what I mean? 'Cause we
There's some bright spots right
Yeah.
there. Maybe you can just dim
Fuck
that.
that.
Yeah. Go for it. Let's do that one more time.
I'll try to two-hand it like you were saying.
Yeah. Yeah, that was good. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I like that. But it's
Yeah.
got some weight to it. It's not a handgun you just went and got a fast pro. Like,
Right.
This is something that's been in your family for years.
So just stay like that. Now, Connor, let's come back and do the wide. Like, maybe kind of like
Point it like
look up at the ceiling at it or something. Yeah, yeah, that kind of thing.
Point it a little lower.
Maybe a little more of an like a erratic camera movement on that, Connor, and maybe just go in tighter. And as he kind of points it around, just follow the gun. Yeah.
Now, I'm sure you've heard the story of the Hatfields and McCoys, the most famous family blood feud in history. This is how it all started, or why it's still going on. Hell, I was kind of hoping we'd be the generation to end it all. And in a way, maybe we will.
I'm not going to bring you into.
Yeah, so the idea is we arrive, we initiate,
Yeah.
we follow through.
You got to meet me. So
Yep.
there's going to be a little bit of choreography from when they call action to when you're going to plan
Yeah.
it, because I'm going to come in and say, Sarah,
Yeah.
and you maybe kind of say, what, Dad? And then I'm saying, what the who? You know, that's
Yeah.
so you're coming legitimately to see me, and but we need to meet about right here in order for, and we need to meet probably.
Yeah, right here on this mark. Yeah, yeah, you're good.
So
yeah.
no, not that
Yep.
close, but we're gonna meet about right here. Yeah. I just fit. I mean, unless I'm here, that's why I'm wrestling with this door.
Yeah, yeah.
But here, and then I'm gonna grab you by the head. You don't know. Please don't anticipate. You don't know that I'm gonna grab your head. I'm gonna say, what in the hell you?
Okay. Yeah, okay.
And he's gonna push her this way. It's gonna be one shot, really. We might come in here and get like a tighter one. I don't know. We'll see.
You're thinking he's gonna shoot through the door?
Yep. Shoot through the doorway.
Do you feel like that?
We can adjust this too to fit in whatever way we need
I
to.
didn't know. Like, are you gonna see that stay in?
I don't know. Let's try it first. She gives me a headache, man. Whew. Okay.
So do you want me to? You want me to enter this way? Coming in.
Let's walk through it and see how it looks.
Okay, you're gonna be back about 2 steps. Right. If that's okay with you.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna come in and say, Sarah.
What?
What the hell do you think you're doing?
Yeah. I like that. Let's walk through that.
Cool. Great. Yeah.
You
Ready, Connor?
Yeah.
All right, action.
Sarah!
What?
What the hell do you think?
Cut. That was great. Let's do more of a grabber with both hands.
Okay.
Can we do that?
Okay. Can we get rid of the Halloween napkins? Those are
Let me know when you're rolling, Connor.
rolling.
All right, action.
Sarah! What do you think you're doing, you little?
Oh my God, that was amazing.
Or something.
Oh, yeah, that's good. Action.
Sarah!
That's great. Hell yeah. All right. After I call action, I'm going to say pan up, and when Connor pans up, that's when I want you to look at the car. You know?
Do I have any frame space here, or am I just turning to look?
You've got some. You mean pacing space?
Yeah.
From about there to the other track.
You're making from him to her? Or her to
Yep. Her to him.
Her to him.
Yep. Okay. You ready?
Yeah.
Rolling. Action. Never pull up. And pan. Cut. Pan up. Nice. Cut.
Sweet.
Can we replay that? Yeah. I think I like that.
Posted wire, it's been a stirring, stewing for a couple 100 years now. Post they said Civil War surrender at the Applebatty's courthouse. Couple of them down and on down the line. Got a bullet with your name on it. It's just a matter of time. Instead of the killing, overland and last names women. Take what you can, it ain't worth the giving. No, I ain't living right. Pray the Lord my soul to keep it, take away if I should die tonight. Well, them boys way down in Dixie.
Also a scene where she is in the bedroom crying, and that was really interesting. I guess as far as from a director's perspective, I really wanted Lily to be able to have some emotion in that scene where she's leaned up on her bed. She's just had this idea that her dad is this sort of rough and abusive guy, in that the scene lends to, he grabbed her, and now she's upset, she's crying, and she's only 19. This was one of her first projects, and so I didn't want to have the whole crew standing around and me saying, all right, it's time to cry, Lily. So I kind of removed everybody from the house, and I grabbed the camera from Connor and just got in the room with me and her, and we got the hazer going, and the light was really nice. And I said, what would help you kind of get in the headspace for this emotional scene? And she's like, if we could listen to All Too Well by Taylor Swift. And so that's what we put on. And she went there in her mind. I don't know what she did, but it was really brilliant. She's an amazing actress, and those are some of my favorite shots from the whole project. Sometimes when you're like directing, you have to realize that this might not be conventional, but we need to get everybody out of here so this person can really go to a place they need to go, emotionally. And I think it was a good call. I'm glad we did that. So Josh Bolden was he was actually a character in the story. He's a brother in the Pruitt family. But he also was a fight coordinator. And he does fight coordinating for Sight and Sound Theater in Branson. So this is what he does every day. And it was amazing because he was working with John and with Tyler and just hashing out this whole fight scene. So it was really cool to see them prep for it. While we were filming a scene earlier, they had a little off time, and they found a little place in the field to start working on their moves. And it really paid off, because by the time the camera started rolling, they had really worked through how to do their punches and their falls and all of that. And we couldn't have done it without Josh leading in that. As far as lighting it goes, we had this grand vision of having all these trucks circled up, and I wanted it to feel like, you know, in high school, when someone's gonna go fight somebody and you're gonna go watch. And so we had everybody set up with their trucks in a circle. All of our friends came out and helped be extras, and we even had a goat. I don't think the goat made the final cut, but it felt good to have a goat there.
Don't take much of nothing to run yours in the ground.
We just ran through it a couple times. They did their whole fighting thing, and it was pretty intense, and it was really cool to film. I'm kind of in my own world when I'm doing all that, so you know, I got the rig on, and I'm looking at the camera, and that's all I'm really focused on. So I don't really get to see the whole. I don't really get to see or encompass the whole scene. Yeah, it seems like that flew by, but I know it took a couple hours. But it seemed like we would shoot one scene, and Nate and I would talk about it, and we'd set up for another one, and whether that be, you know, on the ground, these guys are wrestling around, or whether they're up top just throwing punches at each other, and it was really cool. And we had a big crowd for that. A lot of guys came out and brought some cool trucks, and just that whole fight scene, that was kind of a big part of the film, and so we wanted to do that right, and I think we did it pretty well.
Come on, Daniel, get up! Kick his ass! Don't let him go! Yeah! Let's go!
Yeah. Good. There you go. That way.
Yeah!
All right, shot 9. You want to do it one more time? Yeah. All right. I know one of y'all's got to get it. All right. Action. All right, cut. Right here, Connor. Let's get it. Right here. We're gonna catch these lights. Right here. Push to your elbow. You just light on your face. Okay, so we're gonna pan from that up this way. See what I'm saying? Got me? Yeah. So when I say look up, just, or when I say pan. Okay. There you go. I don't think so, boy!
Nice. Let's just do it in that position. Try to if you want to walk up. Yeah, walk up. No, let's just have him, so he's oriented this way. Okay. And you're just looking down that barrel and how to do that.
I don't think so, boy!
Hey, ho, 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 ho! No, we're all good here. Give me that knife.
We're good.
Cut. Perfect.
Light your mind. No, you don't want to end up 6 feet down around where the well runs dry. If you think you got the grit to go and get some, son, you gotta toe that line. Heed my advice and don't bring a knife to a gunfight.
Day 2, we had a pretty early morning. We had to shoot at a local bar, the VFW, and at like 9 o'clock. So that was definitely the earliest I've ever been in a bar.
The other families over here shoot school, so we'll kind of probably. Our close buddy Mitch Morgan runs the VFW hall, and it just so happens to be the perfect like small town bar environment. And So not only did they let us use it, but they were all really stoked about it, and a bunch of people came to set in as extras. And visually, those are some of my favorite scenes because we used some blue lights and some red lights and kind of created this this different mood of blue and red and orange. It was really cool to be able to go into a place that's already got all this character and then say, what kind of lights do we want to add to this to just really give it that extra look.
It took us a while to light it up, and we had a ton of help, you know. Brian helped us. We were all, Matt helped us. We all had hands-on the lighting on the bar scene, and that was really cool. I love those scenes like that because at night you can add, especially a bar scene where there's neon lights and all that, you can kind of, you know, your lighting doesn't have to be the right temperature. It can be a wild red or a cool blue or whatever, and you can really mess with it and really make it pretty cool.
All right. Good, great. Cut. Love it. Come back to like right here. And shoot that way. So coming from where you're at, slow motion. Yeah.
So like right in the middle of that chair.
Go for it. Try that a couple times.
Rolling.
Sure?
Yep.
Action.
I'm gonna get you, son of a...
Perfect cut. That was awesome.
That was good. Look at that. That was perfect. You got the big pieces. Solid.
Yeah, that's
It this way, and then at that point, your family has gotten to the spot, and they're going to grab you, and he's going to do this. But for this first cut, we just need the action. Yeah. Do we need? And Jay's just going to be watching. He's like looking. What's going on?
Do you want me startled or angry?
I think it's like.
I think now you probably know you're getting it.
Yeah, now you're angry.
Okay.
Yeah, that's great.
You want me coming in on the side? Or
Yep, so
eventually coming in on the side and part him?
yeah. So as soon as he gets, you were over here shooting, so it's going to take you a second to get in here.
So I'll give him a second.
Yeah, and so as soon as he gets up against the wall, you're going to enter from this side and we'll play.
Great.
Yeah.
And I probably should have.
No, I didn't need that.
Get off the lead!
Get off! Cut. Perfect.
Come on! Take him! Get
Back, I said!
Cut.
Huh? Get off!
And then we stop, and you're just staring. Just furious. Furious.
So don't burn down a bridge, it ain't worth
I was physically like kind of sick after the bar scene because it was raining harder and harder, and the forecast just kept calling for it. And we had these actors for 2 days. They all had to go back to their home states at the end of this day. So we had planned on using a gas station out in Eldridge for this gas station scene. However, it was raining so hard, we just asked the gas station in the parking lot of our office if we could use it because it had a covered area, and they were cool with it. And so we ran over there and shot those gas station shots. Drew a little bit of a crowd, but you know, I guess that's what happens when you're using a public place to shoot something like that. And I'm really grateful that they let us use the gas station for those scenes. And then we came back to the office and we sat around because we knew that we had the biggest scene of the entire video still left, which was the gunfight. The most preparation we had done had gone into how are we going to pull off this gunfight, and it was dumping rain. And so we ended up going out to the location. We had some friends who had just bought this property and they were getting ready to doze this old trailer, and so we were like, before you do that, can we shoot it up? And it worked out really nicely. But it continued to rain and rain and rain, and finally we said, I guess we're gonna have to get wet because we only have these people for today. And about the time we started rolling, the rain stopped, and we ended up getting to shoot the majority of the gunfight that evening without getting too wet. However, everything was super muddy. The trucks got stuck when we got them in there because it had dumped all day long, and I was really grateful that we could get the majority of our shots done. You know, as a director or filmmaker, you always look back and go, I wish I could have done this or that. And it's definitely one of those things from this project that I went, I wish we would have had more takes of certain bits and pieces of this gunfight, but we got exactly what we needed to make it all come together, and that's a real blessing. The next day, we ended up finishing the gunfight scenes with just Lily and Tyler, the two main characters, because everyone else had to go, and they graciously stuck around another day so we could shoot the fill-in pieces. We wouldn't have been able to get it all done because of the rain, so we were lucky that they were available the next day to help us finish up that scene.
Okay, action. All right. Roll. Action.
Yep, that was it.
Nice.
So we're just gonna get a few seconds of you staring down the barrel.
Okay.
You're breathing and human, and you're wondering who's.
Can you see?
All right, cut.
Could you see my feet?
Uh-uh.
Oh, sweet. Actually, yeah. Rolling. Action.
All right, cut. All right, stay right there.
Action.
Fairly tight chain.
In the window.
Once you get all rigged up, let me know.
Who do you think you are, boy?
You take it easy, Jack.
Hell with you, Howard.
I think it turned out to be a really good product, and it you know, it's not just on me, it's not just on Nate, you know, it's everybody that was a part of it. You know, we had Nate was a director, and he was a great director. I love following Nate's direction. Of course, I was camera operator. You know, we have Jonathan and Lindsay, who are both on our team, and they both had huge parts. Lindsay organized the whole thing, you know, which a lot of people couldn't do, and that was really cool. And we had some outside help as well, with talent, you know, acting and all that. You know, volunteer people. You know, people would bring brought their trucks, and people would volunteer locations and everything. And even like this video, Brian did all the behind the scenes stuff, and this will be really cool to see the whole behind the scenes thing. And I'll kind of get to, I guess, relive it and see what I was actually doing, you know, because it was kind of 3 days of a blur for me. But it's just really cool to have such a great team that can put something like this together.
The great thing about having Tiffany as an AD is that she works with actors all day, every day. She's an actress. She's a casting director. She did all the casting for this. She led that charge for us. And she works at Sight and Sound in Branson. So she's a pro. And so there are times where I'm thinking, man, this isn't exactly how I want that's not exactly how I want this actor or actress to deliver this. And then I can have a little huddle with her, and she quickly can like help me figure out what it is I am wanting, you know. Tiffany's such a valuable person, addition to our team in these situations. And having Brian Swino taking behind the scenes footage and photos was awesome too. Getting to work with him, it was just a really cool experience all around. Honestly, for me, I love making films. I love, you know, all kinds of creative work. But just as cool as it is to me to take a song and create a concept and put together a cast and film it and edit it and get to show it to people, just as cool as that is to me, I love seeing people successful in the process, whether that's, you know, Jonathan, who's doing audio, or Lindsay, who is doing logistics, or Connor, who was incredible shooting this thing as a DP, or Lily, her first acting gig, like seeing her excited and her family. That's the most rewarding part of doing things like this to me. It turned out better than I had imagined it being, and that's only because we had a team here that could pull it all off. There's no way that when I was a solo shooter, I could have pulled this off. Connor did such an incredible job filming this thing and being the DP. And yeah, I'm so stoked that the quality was there, the teamwork was there for us here at Slate and Glass. Being able to work together as a team and achieve something like that was really cool. And honestly, I think we're just empowered now to go, all right, what's next? Let's find some more artists we can tell some stories for. I think we found our niche. First with Mattress on the Floor, music video for Mo Pitney, and now with this film, Blood Feud. I think we found this storytelling niche, and I want to do some more with some other artists, and do some more with Gary and Charlie.